Hey, WACC people. This is the OCT, Octavius Haye, and I want to thank you for tuning in to our page today. We greatly appreciate it. If you are listening to the podcast, you can also find it on PODBEAN. The link will be in the description. And if you listen to our music, you can also listen on SoundCloud and DatPiff. Both links will be in the description also. And as always, please remember to like the video, leave a comment, and to subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit that notification button so you're informed every time we drop new content. Now enjoy this WACC wisdom. I am whacking off.
It's the WACCast podcast, yeah.
Talk WACC to me, talk WACC to me,
yeah.
Talk WACC to me, talk WACC
It's
to me.
the WACCast podcast, yeah.
Talk WACC to me, talk WACC to me,
Yeah.
Talk WACC to me, talk WACC to me. Whoa.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for listening again. I'm hoping everybody had another amazing day. I am your host, the Honorable OCT Octavius Haye, alongside with my co-host, the engrossed E-Rob.
Oh, yeah.
And you are listening to the WACCast podcast. E, how you doing today, man?
Man, wonderful, man. Special podcast today, man.
Why is it so special, E?
Man, we're about to talk hip hop. You know what I'm saying?
Real talk, man.
Yeah.
You ready to talk WACC to him?
Let's talk WACC to him.
All right, E, well, I guess this is your guest, your get. You get to introduce him, so go ahead.
Yeah, this is my guy. It's Brandon Beasley, you know what I'm saying? This is hip hop historian of the hood, so to speak, man.
Oh, thank you. You're far too kind.
Yeah,
Thanks
man.
so much, bro. Thank
We
you
talk
guys
hip
for
hop.
having me.
We would be talking
problem.
like this either way, even if we weren't on.
Most definitely.
So like, I'm really glad to bring this here and bring this this vibe, this wave here, right here, man.
Yeah, man, but thank you. We really appreciate you coming on the show, talking with us.
Yep.
Giving us a different insight. It's usually just me and E, so we always appreciate somebody else coming in, giving their opinion on things.
Yep. And I definitely support everything you guys got going on. And this is episode of 3, 4, 7 or 8. Yeah. So we're getting up there. So yeah. You guys are doing great, and I'm really happy to be a part of it. So yeah, all for the love of hip hop, man. The love of music, as a matter of fact. So, and that's definitely something that I feel like we're all into. So let's get to it.
Yeah, definitely, man. Well, I guess the best way to start it is ask you, what started your love for hip hop?
Ooh, what started my love for hip hop? Started my love for hip hop and rap. I'd probably have to say all credit has to go to my big brother Eddie Bird. Rest in peace, E-Dub. When I was younger, instead of having one of those brothers that was like, yo, stay out of my room, stay out of my cassette tapes, stay out of my CDs, he was more so like, hey, get over here, I gotta show you something, like, check this out. So, there'd be times where I had homework, going to ECC, MRH, you know what I mean? And he would be like, hey, what are you doing? I'm like, I got homework to do. And he'd be like, I don't care about all that. Like, come here. And, next thing, I'm listening to Adrenaline Rush by Twista, Me Against the World, Tupac, you know what I'm saying? 36 Chambers, Wu. So that really started my love for hip hop. And that was really early on. And even before that, I would watch my brother mimic. He always wanted to be a rapper, so he would mimic his favorite artists, Bone Thugs and Harmony, Twista, Tupac, and he would be in the mirror mimicking them, and I would just watch them. And there'd be these days where we just sit all day and watch videos on this channel or TV show called The Box. I don't know if you guys remember that from the cable back in the late 90s. So yeah, that really, it was definitely my big brother, but I come from a household where even my mom, and sisters, they are big fans of hip hop, you know what I'm saying? So I got a huge huge diverse and variety of music within the hip hop genre from all my siblings, you know what I'm saying? But most credit goes to my older brother Eddie Bird for sure. He really got me into it at an early age. So.
Okay, so you kind of pretty much was, in a way, in a joking way, kind of forced into hip hop by your older brother.
Right. Yeah. I kind of was forced into it, but hey, it was a liking. It was something that I really grasped to.
Right.
Like I really, really loved it. I wouldn't change anything about it. You know what I'm saying? So.
What came to me when you talked, like, when it hits you, you feel it. Like, even at that young age, like, wow, I don't understand everything.
Right.
What I'm seeing and what I'm hearing is that's what it is, you know?
Right, it's what I'm hearing, yeah. Even if I'm not understanding the meaning of the words, when I was a younger, little toddler or whatnot, the melodies and just the beats, even instrumentals, like, for me, you know what I mean? Hearing Nothing But a G Thing by Snoop, and seeing Lil Bow Wow in the very beginning of that video, it was like, man, I really, really, really dig hip-hop, whatever this is. Like, I love it, you know what I'm saying? Hearing Jay-Z sample Annie on A Hard Knock Life, like, man, I did not know what Jay-Z was talking about at a very young age, but I love that beat, that instrumental, that how you can just nod your head, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a feeling, man. Like, I feel like some people don't get to experience it, honestly. Like,
well, you took it to New York, and it was gonna get there anyway. But the New York Cap, man, you're right. It's something about that place and that space where it all started, man.
Yeah, definitely,
Real talk. Definitely is something about that, man.
Definitely.
But as far as you mentioned, some of your brother's favorite rappers. Who are some of your favorites?
Ooh, well, I'd have to say my all-time favorite rapper is Currency. Currency, he used to rap with early on he rapped with Master P and No Limit. Just a little guy, and that huge roster army of soldiers and artists. So, and then next thing you know, he's with Wayne. Then he does his own thing, and I really grasped to him when he started doing his own thing. First it started off with like Fly Society, and then Jet Life. And once he really got the Jet Life ordeal established, I really grasped onto him. I was about a sophomore in high school, and I was like, look, I really, really, really dig this artist. It's just what he talks about is something I feel as though that I can relate to, but not just me, the next man. And he raps about things, goals that are reachable.
Can we talk about Jet real quick? Like, you told me Jet one time, like,
yeah,
can you just
Jet.
Explain what you explained to me today, bro, 'cause that
yeah,
and I'm like, man,
well, Jet Life, it's a way of life, man. JET, it stands for just enjoy this. And then, if you add an S, it's, I don't know if we can get explicit on here or not, but it's, it's just enjoy this shit, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, and you put a life on the end of it, and it's Jet Life or Jet's Life, but it's just a way of life, man. You know what I'm saying? The glass is always half full, regardless of the situation, things will get better. So in Currency, he speaks that in his records, man. He speaks about simplicity, the love of little things, that it's just like, oh, wow, man, I remember I loved this at 7, 8 years old, but it's okay for me to love it at, mid-20s, late 30s, early 30s, late 40s. Like, it's amazing. So Currency's definitely my favorite, but big influences on my life as far as the rap game goes through growing up, I'd have to say I got to give credit to Cameron and the whole Dipset team, 50 Cent, T.I., Kanye West, and I was a fan. My brother, he listened to everything, so I enjoy Eminem, you know what I mean, a lot. So Ab-Soul.
There goes the Midwest. You find the Midwest somewhere.
Ab-Soul,
it's in there somewhere,
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Twista's in my top 10, most definitely.
Okay.
And I know that was, in my brother's like all-time favorite rapper, but like Twista's definitely in my top 10 as well. Like I said, Ab-Soul. I was a huge fan of XXXTentacion. I'm a big fan of J. Cole and Jid. Schoolboy Q. And shout out to Smino, man. St. Louis represent.
Yeah.
Like, Smino most definitely is a huge favorite of mine. I like him a ton. So
All right. So we got a nice little mix there, different rappers from different eras. I like that. So I asked you some of your favorite rappers. Do you have any songs that stick out? Some of your favorite rap songs that mean something to you for different reasons?
Okay. One that really sticks out, means a lot to me, is there's a record. It's called Life Ain't Cool by Mystical. It's on the album that he made in 98 called Ghetto Fabulous. And pretty much they talk about how there's just no woman on earth better than their mother. It's him featuring Master P and Silk the Shocker. That song means a ton to me. You know, I grew up with a single mother, a ton of siblings, but you know, it was awesome. You know, and it's just crazy, man. Like hearing that record, I always think about her. I think about my grandma. I think about a lot of the women in my life, as a matter of fact, that helped bring me up. That record is really, really special to me. So yeah, definitely that one means a lot to me. 03 Adolescence by J. Cole means a lot to me. And it's like the second verse. J. Cole talks from a perspective of his buddy telling him how, like, look, man, you look up to me, but I look up to you. And that gave me a different perspective on life, because when I first heard that record, you know, I thought I was just like doing really, really bad. But at that time, I genuinely had, you know, I had my little brother come up to me and tell me that, like, oh, wow, you think you're doing bad? Like, I think you're doing awesome. You know what I mean? And that's just like enough to really, really keep going, you know. So 03 Adolescence by J. Cole. Man, that is... Crime Pays by Freddie Gibbs. Crime Pays by Freddie Gibbs is on the album called Bandana. By the way, y'all should go get that. If you haven't heard it, go get that. It was dropped in 2019, but it didn't get a Grammy, which it should have. It should have got Album of the Year, and it didn't. And I also like Freddie Gibbs featuring Conway the Machine. It's called Babies and Fools. That record, everybody should spin that record right now, because awesome.
Okay. So I think now we about to get into, I guess, what Rob calls the Matrix.
Okay, here we
now
go.
we about to get to this action.
Yeah.
Got a little bit of your musical taste. Got to know you a little bit. Now I got to come at you with this, man. What's your favorite era of hip hop? Or do you have one? I guess.
I have a favorite era, but I want to start off by saying no disrespect to any era that I did not say was my favorite. No disrespect to those eras, because I love them too. But sometimes these questions are tough when you have to signal in on just one answer, you know? Like,
yeah, we setting you up.
Yeah, you guys are definitely setting me up. So, you know, I don't want nobody coming after me. You know, I don't want the OGs coming after me saying I disrespected their era. But truthfully, man, my favorite era of hip hop, I'm allowed to name like the decade, right?
Yeah.
I'd have to say from 2000 to 2010. That's my favorite era of hip hop. Just the way that it transformed, and even, you know, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere in between that decade was when we really got that weird. We were in a weird place in hip hop where it was like, yo, hip hop might be dead, you know. And next thing you know, hip hop might be dead, and it just this huge blossom of I call it like this backpack era that like pretty much got established in like 07, 08, 09, 2010, you know, with the J. Cole's and Kendricks and Kid Cudi's, you know what I'm saying? They really like brought in like that back. I feel like, you know, the Wiz Khalifa, and I also feel like a lot of those artists that we got in later of that decade, you know, in the 07, 08, 09 to 2010, in my opinion, I feel like we got a lot of reincarnations of some guys, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you got Nipsey and the Snoop comparison. You know, you got the Kendrick and the Pac comparison, the J. Cole, Jay-Z comparison, Joey Badass and Nas comparison. You know, shout out to Joey Badass, by the way. He so I just really feel like those artists, man. Like, also, Nelly. You know, shout out to the Midwest, but in that decade, Nelly really threw it down and represented, man. Like, and you know what? Hey, and you know, I want everybody to listen to this one Jay-Z record where he says, and I quote, he was like, ain't nobody get no more money other than Pimp Juice, and then there's us. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Pimp Juice, you know, Nelly really was coming through bulldozing and running the game. So yeah, like Nelly, that decade right there, Nelly really did some things, man. You know, in that decade, you know, the way that Drake sort of runs it now, you know, like Nelly was running, man. Like, you know, Nelly had the ladies going. Right there, bro. Nelly's had your families going, your grandma, the toddlers going. You know what I'm saying? So 2000 through 2010 is my favorite era of hip hop. Also, shout out to Eminem. Like Eminem, like the Eminem show, the 8 Mile era, and then bringing us 50.
It's pretty
like come
nostalgic.
on, man.
That's nostalgic.
That is awesome. Like that's my favorite era of hip hop. Like straight up.
All right, man. But you really think from 2000 to 2010 is one era? Because
I do.
I can't co-sign that because you start off with the early 2000s. You got Nelly, you got Eminem, you got 50 Cent, you got you got Rockefeller. You got G-Unit.
Rockefeller. You got Rough Riders.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You got
by like 2005, 2006, that was over. Like I think 50 Cent had one more year in 2007 where he sold good.
Okay, but didn't Kanye?
Rockefeller was done.
Didn't Kanye really blossom in 06, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah, but
didn't Kanye give us late registration? Like then Kanye, you know what I'm saying? Kanye and 50 had that ordeal.
Yeah, that was that one last year. You always gonna have those hang-ons.
Like hip-hop divide.
We had Jay-Z. We had Jay-Z really peak in the early 2000s. Then give us he's gonna retire. Then come back and just had a great run when he came back.
Think about Jordan. Jordan was doing the same shit.
Think about the underground. Think about the underground.
Connection to the game.
Think about Talib Kweli and Mos Def and the underground really blossoming in that era.
You're always gonna have people who stick around. LL Cool J stuck around for like 500 eras. What I'm saying is the main people who were the top guys who were like that. That's what you gotta look at. Like, now you have your legacy acts, and your legacy acts are gonna be there. But Eminem took a little break. 50 Cent kind of fell off after 07. He didn't fall away.
Now this is what I'm asking
Jay
you.
was still there.
Are we
Kanye
talking 2000 through 2010?
That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking.
If we talking 2000 through 2010, I'm sorry, bro, but like you're talking about guys who were solid throughout that whole decade.
Yeah,
Nelly was solid through the whole decade.
Nelly the whole thing. No.
Nelly was solid the whole bro.
Nelly
was solid.
I get the Midwest bias.
Nelly was solid.
But Nelly was starting to make a decline. Nelly was starting to be hot off of singles when he was moving albums. He was
I would say Nelly fell off in 08, 09, maybe.
The same stuff Drake
still gave us Grills.
Right,
like Grills was.
There's no problem with
He gave us Grills in like 07 or 08, right? Remember?
Grills was not in 07 or 08 because Grills was when I still had my braces and I took my braces off.
Well, Lord knows when that was. So
that was before I went to high school. I started high school in 2006. Grills was when I was still in middle school, so that was like 2004, 2005.
No, that's cap, brother.
Everything
I'm sorry,
was,
man.
Grills was not. I moved out here the first time in 2006.
Bro, Shake
Grills
Your Tail Feather came out in like
2003 or 04.
03, 04.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So Grills came out when I was in like 7th grade. Like
anybody would tell you when 2000 first started, it was a New York sound, and then kind of a little bit of country came into it.
Wait a minute,
by like
that brings us to that. The 99 into the
So the
2000s,
South wasn't dominating?
The South was hot.
Tip, Luda, like, oh, come on, bud.
You gotta let me finish my point. You keep interrupting. Yes, Tip and Luda was, but when you start out the year, who were the top? Like Nelly was the exception, but other than Nelly, oh my bad, Nelly was the exception, but other than Nelly, you had Jay-Z, you had Eminem,
Dr. Dre,
50 Cent,
Snoop Dogg.
Snoop Dogg always around again.
Lil Jon.
But I'm saying the top selling artists who were the premier, what you would call today the Drakes, the Coles, the Kendricks, were more of a New York-based sound, with the exceptions of Nelly. As we start to get on,
but UGK was still thugging.
Look, that's the thing. You can't argue that because at the end of the day, their acts are always going to be around. That's not the argument. The argument isn't that people just disappeared.
Right.
Heard nothing from again. The argument is what the sound and what was the sound that you followed in the music is what I'm talking about, and who prevailed higher because of that sound. Now, as you get later on in the early 2000s decade, that sound becomes more of to where now the leaders are Lil Wayne and T.I. and Jeezy, and you still have these other people around, and they still get respect and they still sell. But what's the pop culture leader is
what was driven like by
that is more so that sound is what
definitely the East Coast sound for sure. I mean, even watching this TV show I was watching, Evolution of Hip Hop on Netflix, they talked about like this guy who signed T.I. where T.I. recorded his first record, he was like, I was actually looking for a Southern cat with some New York lyricism. When the guy, there's another guy who commented, Outkast, who, yo, when I found these guys, they, you know, they from the A, but they rap like New York guy, you know, they spitting lyrics like New York guys. It's like, yeah, I definitely believe that, like, dude, New York was driving that era super hard. You know what I'm saying?
It always goes back to New
It
York.
always go back
every
to New York.
time.
It goes back to New York.
I will say New York is probably my favorite, hands down, my
shit.
favorite region of
That's the next
music. I
question.
want to go ahead and throw it out there.
So that's the next question. You think New York is the best region?
My favorite region is, if I had to choose one region, I'm going New York. I'm definitely going to New York.
What about that sound?
Okay, I'm gonna say 2 reasons of why I'm gonna go with New York. Well, first off, because of, if I sit and think back of who are really some of my favorite artists, they're East Coast guys. You know what I'm saying? Nas, Jay-Z, Rakim, you know what I'm saying? MF Doom. Like, those guys are East Coast guys. West Side Gun. I'm sorry, Currency's from New Orleans. But let's be honest. When Currency, in my opinion, I felt like Currency is extremely New York influence in this sense. When Currency changed, like when he really elevated his game, you know what I'm saying? Like with the bar spitting, and even a lot of the beats that he was rapping over those mixtapes, you know what I'm saying? That huge run of mixtapes that he had going on from like 2010 through 2016, I feel like all of that was really New York driven. You know what I'm saying? And if that's my favorite rapper and that's who he's inspired by, like, I gotta dig through the crates and check out, well, who is he? You know, and then, you know, next thing I know, Currency is referencing a lot of Ghostface Killer, a lot of Raekwon, a lot of Method Man.
He's listening to
you know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, he was listening to that shit, man. It's like, it's crazy, man.
I gotta give it E's point. New York is not versatile. Okay?
They're not, but you know what? But I want to say this, though. That one in particular style that they mastered, that they crafted, it's hard. Just that one style, that one dark, gritty. You know what? I'm fine with it. I'm fine with the non-diversity of it. You know what I'm saying? I am okay. Now, you know what? Just a quick shout out to, like, you know what? The West Coast, bro. Like, dude, you can't lie, bro. The West Coast is so diverse. It's so diverse,
they had
man.
to become diverse.
There's West Coast artists that I like. Oh my God, like, he's from the West. You know what I'm saying? It's like, dude, he's amazing, and it's like, oh wow, he's from the West.
Are these recent artists? Or?
Yeah. A lot of these guys I'm talking about are recent. You know,
there was a moment where LA wasn't as diverse, and that's why they fell off too. Yeah,
like the Absols and Kendrick Lamar's and Schoolboy Q. When I first got hip to them, I quickly asked, like, you know, the Casey Veggies, Earl Sweatshirt, Tyler the Creator. As soon as I got hip to them, I was like, hey, these guys are from the West Coast? Wow. Like, and I'm not even trying to say that they were strictly East Coast driven, but they were just so diverse, and I had never heard those sounds sonically from the West until I had heard them. You know what I mean? So,
yeah. You think Kendrick is overrated?
No, I don't.
I do.
I do not think Kendrick is overrated. As a matter of fact, to some degree, in my opinion, he's a little underrated, and I genuinely felt like let something bad happen to Kendrick right now, knock on wood. We don't want, we don't want that, but I'm just saying, people would really appreciate him if something were to happen to him.
I appreciate him.
We need to really appreciate him now.
But I don't think that he's as great as people think he is.
He is the culture.
I think that he's really good at rapping fast. I think he's really good at the ability of rapping. Ain't that why you like
Eminem? Not you, but ain't that why they like Eminem?
But I think he's really, I don't know, but I think he's really good at the ability of rapping. I don't think he doesn't say anything to make me, he don't make me make the ugly face. You know, when people rap hard, you be like,
well,
that's cool.
There's times that he has me definitely do that, just because it's not even necessarily that, like,
I like the
element of surprise in the metaphors, but even just really, really hitting me. This is me personally, hitting me with something that I can relate to.
Got the Tupac
and it's like
stuff.
You said it on the mic and the world heard it. Like, you know what I'm saying? There's a song, I believe it's Fear on Damn, where he talks about, he has like 8 or 10 bars where he just goes, if you don't finish that plate, I'ma whoop your ass. You come to me crying, I'ma whoop your ass. If you go back outside, you keep going in and out of my front door, I'ma whoop your ass. It's like, oh my God, like, wow, like, I heard those sentences growing up, you know what I'm saying? So I just feel like Kendrick says those things that I feel like some artists might even be afraid to speak on. Like Kendrick says it, and it's not just, I'm not just listening to it, my neighbor's listening to it. You know what I'm saying? People across the globe are listening to it, and it's putting them in those shoes as well, or or trying to, you know what I mean? So giving people, a little bit of perspective of what it's like in other, households, you know what I'm saying? So
that brings it to me when it hits home, when you know that you can relate to that on a heavy level.
Yeah.
It just shows how powerful the music is. Like, you be connected like that. That'll be the whole reason you fuck with a nigga. He just said that. We all just felt that at the same time,
Right.
Nah, Kendrick is very relatable. Like I grew up in the West Side. I grew up in Hawthorne. I was off of Rosecrans too. So like a lot of this stuff I can relate to. I don't think he's the soup. Like if I was to get in a rap battle with Kendrick, I wouldn't be sweating it. Is what I gotta say. Like if I was to get in a rap battle with like a Royce da 5'9" or somebody like that, you know what I'm saying? I'd probably like, ugh. If I was to get in a rap battle with Kendrick, I wouldn't be sweating. I don't think he's gonna really say anything. He's gonna like say.
Yeah, those Detroit guys are like, hey, those are some bar spitters, man.
Yeah,
those Detroit guys are really good too.
Shout out,
But I
you hear Big Sean's album, bro?
Oh, dude, Big Sean.
Big Sean.
I want to say this about Big Sean's album, man. His album was so good to me that I'm a little disappointed in one thing. So you guys got to pay attention to release dates, and like when his album was released, it could not be in the running for a Grammy nomination as far as album of the year this year. Like it wouldn't be for
it's
you know what I'm saying? It would be for next year.
Right,
and it's like, man, it's like that's not fair because that album was great.
Some real shit. You know how powerful it just was right now.
Well, E, what's your favorite overall beef? If you got one, start with you, man. Don't say T.I. Lil Flip. I know this I want to go back to and laugh at, but come on.
Man, Ja Rule though, that was one of them.
It was a deep one.
That was deep. Guess I gotta go recent, just the Rick Ross Birdman, just how that kind of played out and stuff.
Birdman didn't even do no record back, man.
No, man, but like just how Ross did him on World Star and shit, bro. See that? Put the religious shit at the start, man. Like, that's how you hit him. It kind of connects it to the Pusha T too, because another one would be Pusha T Wayne, signed to another nigga that signed to another nigga that signed to another nigga. Like,
so
oh man,
I think you more like the songs than the actual beat, because these are all like just. I mean, cause you can't count that weak Lil Wayne stuff.
He came back with some bars. He probably missed them. He had some bars, but they're Wayne-ish, so I know you probably don't like them.
Yeah, I don't like Wayne.
So that's just where that goes, man.
Now, I have to say my favorite beef is always gonna be the East Coast West Coast beef, just because there's just so many layers to that, so many other mini beefs within that beef. And this whole thing is it's this crazy story, and it really was like what I mean. When it really got intense, it was only for about a year, but it just so much happened in that year, and it was the driving force of hip hop at the time. So just so much happened, so many stories, so many different documentaries and different perspectives come out of that, and so many superstars, dead or living, have come out of that. That was a crazy time. I think that's my favorite.
And I feel like with that East Coast and West Coast, it wasn't just Pac and Biggie or Death Row and, you know what I'm saying, Death Row and Bad Boy. You know what I'm saying? There were other solo West Coast artists and East Coast artists competing in the hip hop game. Like, yo, I'm better than you, I spit better than you, and you on that WACC coast. You know what I'm saying? Why vice versa? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy, man.
Nah, real talk. I also like, because I'm a big Joe Budden fan, so I like his beef with Ransom. That was a very dangerous beef. Very documented beef.
Yeah.
Breaking in people's houses and doing stuff like that, slapping people. I also like his beef with Saigon. I think that stayed mostly just on record, but it was just some good wordplay between the two of them. But yeah. What me say, man? So
we gotta talk about the Wu though, bro. Cause I wanted to ask you about the Wu, bro.
Oh, you want to ask me about the Wu, huh?
Yeah. So we
about
watched
the 36
Evolution
Chambers.
shit.
Okay.
They mentioned Wu Tang, and like, I respect them, but I don't know a lot about them.
Oh, Oh, okay.
Bro, can you tell me about the Wu?
I can tell you what I know about the Wu. So I'm you know, I would have to say like a little flower in the Wu Tang fandom game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like I gotta really I can only give you what I know. So like what I know is that group is hands down one of the illest, best, like lyrical groups ever. Definitely top 3. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I can name like 5 artists in that group minimum. You know, Ghostface Killer, Raekwon, Method Man, RZA, Jizza, Old Dirty Bastard, Capadonna, You God, Inspector Deck, like that. You know what I'm saying? Like those guys were they were good, man. They were really, really good. And so you know, in the 90s, man, while everybody's going at each other's neck and the East Coast is trying to determine who's the king, man, you just out of nowhere get this nitty gritty corner of these guys who infuse this like this kung fu artistry, also with this hood gangster grimy. You know what I'm saying? It was, oh my gosh, man, like just from all of their solos and you know what's insane? These guys are a group. They signed as a group, right? But they signed solo individual deals, like with record labels, right? So they all like do their own thing with these record labels and really hold their own, you know what I'm saying, at their position of where they're at in the rap game. You know what I'm saying? Method Man, where he definitely held his own. I mean, he's on TV till this day. You know, Ghostface is respected. Ray is still dropping music. Jizza is doing films. I mean, RZA's directing films. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy, man. God, you know, rest in peace, Old Dirty Bastard. But long, you know, long live him. You know what I'm saying? People still sample him till this day.
Right.
You know, so and even when they portray him in these TV shows, they do a really good job. You know, but my favorite member of the Wu Tang Clan is definitely Ghostface Killer. To anyone who's never heard Wu Tang, want to, you know, start diving in, I would without a doubt, you know, start off with 36 Chambers, but then give Ghostface's Iron Man a listen, then give Raekwon's Only Built for Cuban Links a listen, then Method Man's Takao, then Jizza's Liquid Swords. You know what I'm saying? Like, you guys got to start off with those. You know, then you can elevate and go on to the Ghostface Killer's Supreme Clientele. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And I think I gotta just note how it's one thing, like they was the group, but then they separated and they did their own thing, and their own thing was their own thing, you know.
Yeah.
Nah,
However that is.
It's crazy because like how many albums did they really make together? Not that many, is it?
No, there's not that many.
What's your opinion? I know a lot of the members like they got a love-hate relationship.
As a collective, Wu Tang only made like 1, 2, 3. They made about 6 albums. 6 or 7 albums. You know, the W, Wu Tang Forever, Enter the Wu, which is 36 Chambers. You know what I'm saying? A Better Tomorrow, Of Mics and Men, 8 Diagrams, Iron Flag. They made about 8 albums together.
What's your opinion on the you know, on their love-hate relationship with RZA though? You know, it seems like he kind of screwed him over sometimes, but yet they still come make music with him.
I really don't sense that at all because I mean, you know, most of those guys were family. You know what I'm saying? If I'm not mistaken, Ghostface is with RZA's sister, and then RZA, Jizza, and Old Dirty Bastard are cousins. You know what I'm saying? Raekwon grew up with RZA. Method Man, you know what I'm saying? Method Man grew up with RZA and Ray. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I don't sense that at all.
Well,
yeah,
but they had some, especially when, you know, that whatever that last project was that he didn't give out to the world, he like auctioned it off for like whatever $2 million or something like that, and a lot of them was pretty mad about that.
Yeah.
He didn't discuss that with them, and they had a documentary where they was talking about some stuff was filed. I don't remember exactly, but there's been some type of like discrepancy with, you know, RZA and them, like some type of. I mean, they always come back together, so I guess it's not that serious, but some issues they got.
Yeah, I wasn't aware of that at all because I always, from the outside looking in, it looked like everything was good. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I had no idea that there was any static amongst that family right there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you think that's the best group of all time in hip hop?
The best hip hop group of all time?
It's the WACCast podcast. Yeah.
Talk whack to me. Talk whack to me.
Yeah.
Talk whack to me. Talk whack
It's
to me.
the WACCast podcast. Yeah.
Talk whack to me. Talk whack to me.
Yeah.
Talk whack to me. Talk whack to me.